Today we are back with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous companion builds for unfair difficulty, and we are doing another build for Wenduag, this time a support build. We are going to go into the trickster rogue subclass for some hexes, and also on the Freeboter for some buffs to our party's attack, being able to at high levels give an effective +10 to our party members' attack against any given enemy, as well as the effects of Protective Luck and Fortune Hexes. If you are new to the channel and don't know how we do our builds, my builds are made for unfair difficulty and they are tested by me from early to late levels. Mostly I don't make these builds mainly for YouTube videos, they are made firstly for my own playthroughs on unfair difficulty, and I also don't play using any bugs or exploits, so this build should remain viable despite any changes made to the game. For this build we are going to start as a Sylvan Trickster Rogue. This is a great class for support options because it gets witch hexes, which are some of the most powerful support abilities in this game. So, starting off, we take a level of Sylvan Trickster at level 2, and we get Weapon Finesse and some Sneak Attack. At level 3, we take as a feat Weapon Proficiency Dueling Sword. The reason for this is because Dueling Sword is one of the weapons that can be both used with Finesse Weapon and can be dual wielded to deal 1.5 Dexterity as damage. We also get a choice of hex, and our first one is going to be Protective Luck. At level 4, we get an ability point and it's going to Dexterity, and so are all other ability points we get in this build. We also get at level 4 our Finesse Training, which is going into Dueling Swords. Level 5, we get a feat for Outflank and also our second hex. This time we take Cackle. Then at level 7 we get Weapon Focus Dueling Sword as a feat and Evil Eye as our third hex. Here we are facing a level 5 combat, and at this point we are already able to keep Cackle up with Protective up with Cackle for a given character, here WOTR, and you can see our damage. For this level is not bad at all. Here we are with Reduced Person, so 1d6 from weapon plus 13 from our dexterity plus 2d6 from sneak. It's not a bad number if you ask me, especially for such a low level. And the Babals will have a much harder time hitting, of course, but even here we got a critical. And yeah, a bit lucky, but here you can see our attack is a 17, even Babals, which are some of the strongest enemies, we have a 50% chance of hitting, so this build is not bad even early game. And the strongest part really is the Protective Luck with Cackle, of course, but just to show you our damage is not bad, and at this level we already reduce enemies AC when hitting a sneak attack by a -2, so already bringing some extra debuffing value here. Level 8, we're going to take a break from Sylvan Trickster to get our second level Fighter. This is mostly for the extra feat, so we can take Vital Strike sooner than otherwise, because Vital Strike is going to be our main source of damage. In most fights we want to spend our move actions using Cackle, and Vital Strike is our solution so that our damage doesn't fall off. After our second level Fighter, we go back to Rogue Sylvan Trickster, now at level 9, and as a feat here we take Dazzling Display. Then at level 10 we will get a choice of Fate, Trick for Shatter Defenses, and now we should be able to hit enemies much more reliably. So at level 11 we take Power Attack to also increase the damage of those hits, and at level 12 this will be our last Sylvan trickster level, as we get the other feature we want aside from the hexes we already have, and it is Opportunist. This is an extremely easy to trigger attack of opportunity, which you should be able to get basically every turn against any opponent. And because of the ever-ready Mythic ability, attacks of opportunity in this game are extremely powerful. Now going to level 13, we are going for a Freeboter Ranger. This will give us both Freeboter's Bane to increase our party's attack against a target, and also Freeboter's Bond later on, which will increase our party's attack when flanking an enemy. Now into level 13 we get Improved Critical Dueling Sword as a feat. Into level 14 we'll get a Ranger, Combat Style, and we take 2 Weapon Fighting or Cleave. Now at level 15 we take Improved Vital Strike as a feat, and into level 17 we take Combat Reflexes as a feat. And this will be our last level of Ranger, Freeboter, and now we have Freeboter's Bane for a +2 to attack and Freeboter's Bond for another +2 to attack for our party. For our last 3 levels we go back to Fighter. This way at level 19 we get 2 choices of feats, Weapon Specialization for extra damage, and for our bonus feat, Greater Vital Strike. Though here, you could also, instead of Weapon Specialization, get Cleaving Finish, but I do think Weapon Specialization's reliable damage is better than the occasional bonus from Cleaving Finish. And at level 20, we get our last feature for Weapon Training, Heavy Blades, which will increase the attack and damage of our dueling swords. In our first mythic level, we start with Witch Wandering Hex. This is going to allow us, starting at level 6, to use either Evil Eye or Fortune Hex when we want it, and after we take Evil Eye, we can always use Fortune as our Wandering Hex. At Mythic level 2, we take Vital Strike Mythic. Level 3, we take Last Stand. As always, I think it's needed on every character for unfair difficulty. At Mythic level 4, we take Power Attack Mythic for extra damage. At level 5, we take Ever Ready, especially because we have Opportunist, we are going to make a lot of attacks of opportunity. At Mythic rank 6, we take Improved Critical Mythic Dueling Sword. At level 7, we take Leading Strike. 8, we take Inspirational Leader. At 9, we take Unrelenting Assault for some extra damage, and at 10, we take Weapon Specialization Mythic Dueling Sword. In this build, we have just one level of spells, but we get a very good one, in Lead Blades. This increases our weapon damage, and this is especially good because we are using Vital Strike. For equipment, we have a powerful armor in Web Strider. This increases our dexterity, which is the stat we use both to attack and damage, and it's a morale bonus to dexterity, which is not easy to find. For our cloth, we want Wandering Coleman because we do a lot of attacks of opportunity. That +2 to attack helps a lot. For belt, just a belt of +6 dexterity. For gloves, a glove that gives a bonus to weapon training. Doesn't need to be the Fencer's gift, just a dueling gloves is enough. For ring, Guiding Star is good for the bonus to initiative. Bracers, I just use something that gives a bonus to sneak attack damage. And for our weapon we have the Master Fencer's Sword. This is the reason I chose dueling swords over stocks. This is going to add half our ranks in mobility as bonus damage on both criticals and attacks of opportunity. So this should increase our damage by a reasonable amount, especially because we do attacks of opportunity so often with the opportunist feat. And of course, because of this word, I do recommend that you take 20 ranks in mobility for this build. But that of course is optional. There are other strong dueling swords you may choose to use instead. Now let's see how this build does in high level combat. I'm going to open this up, casting Evil Eye, and letting the enemy come to us for a bit. Here I have a friendly fire elemental to tank for us, and let's also use our Freeboter's Bane. And Scylla is here so she can try and get some attacks of opportunity for us with our opportunist. Let's get close to the enemy. Actually, I want Cackle. Set it here. Let's smite with Scylla so she has a better chance of hitting and triggering our opportunist. And we go here for a Vital Strike. Oh, we got a luck critical here for 700 damage. Let's see our chances to hit. Our chances to hit are not bad, mostly because of our buffs. We have here Freeboter's Bane, Freeboter's Bond and Evil Eye, for a total of +8 to hit. Here we need to roll a 10 or higher. Without our buffs, we would need to roll a 18 or higher. Scylla is also here with a frightful aspect, that's the reason enemies are shaken. Now let's keep going, back up a little with those two. Here we go, the next enemy. Let's see if this one we can trigger an attack of opportunity and not instantly kill with a lucky critical. We do have fortune set up on ourselves, so the critical is not that lucky. So Scylla should be able to smite and hit her, so she triggers an attack of opportunity from us. And here we go. Was this an attack of opportunity? Yeah. Scylla hit, so triggers our opportunist. Here we get a +10 from Ever Ready. We do a lot of extra damage, and you can see our attacks of opportunity hit for a substantial amount, dealing 101 damage here, on top of our average per Greater Vital Strike, which is around the 200 and something. We get a total of an average around the 300 damage per round, which is quite strong for a support. With the amount of value we bring with our hexes and Freeboter's abilities, and the bewildering injury, we can reduce enemies' AC up to a total of +10 basically for our entire party. And this is extremely powerful. So I think here we already showcased all the aspects of this build I wanted to. We can just let Scylla end the enemy. And yeah, this build is very fun to play. I really like builds that can do different things instead of just hitting enemies, so she's able to bring a lot of support options. Even though she is mostly martial class, she has a lot of support options and abilities that you can use in creative ways. You even have Wandering Hex. If you want something else other than Fortune, you can go for it. And yeah, that is it for the build. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun playing this build. I like it especially because by having someone which can already cover all hexes, you can pick different things with your Camellia or Ember builds, since Wenduag already covered the three most important hexes in this build. So she comes out as a very strong support, decent damage dealer, and a very good value to any party really. So as always, let me know in the comments if you like the build, if you have any improvements, I'd love to hear them. If you want to support the channel, subscribe, leave a like, and until the next video, I hope you have a good time.